I'm just going to pause the recording for a second, give everybody a chance to come. So good morning, everybody. My name is Sean Kozak. I'm the CEO of Tickblaze, and I want to welcome you guys to a vendor partner webinar on behalf of Tickblaze and our team. I'm excited for today. We wanted to do this presentation on a Saturday because, during the week, everybody's so busy. They don't get a chance to come in. They don't get a chance to actually kind of unwind and be a part of the conversation. And Fausto and I have done a lot of presentations together. I was just on your podcast recently, and we've done some multi-speaker events over in the past. But recently we just brought the Tickblaze to market. You've had many conversations about your equity traders and basically looking at using new tech. And with our new expansion and with all of the equity integrations, we thought it would be fitting to have you come in and do a presentation. So here we are. I know I see what you're about to present. What you're doing is nothing short of great. You've been in this game for a very long time, and you're a great trader, and you've got a lot of people that know what you're doing. And we're just really glad to have you here. Really glad for you to share some strength and hope with all the traders. And hopefully through this presentation, all the people in attendance can learn something valuable from you. So welcome, everybody. We are going to record this. We'll send this out to you guys so you can watch it after. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat box. Christy and I can tend to them as they come in. And at the end of the presentation, I think Fausto's got something really, really sexy for you guys to participate with. So we'll see what happens. We're in for a good show. So take it away. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me. And good morning, everybody, and welcome back. I know we got some people from West Coast. We got people here bright and early. I see I got some students in here. And by the way, if this is the first time you're seeing this and watching this, I think you're going to be really, really shocked what you're about to learn. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to become a market maker. Obviously, you can see we had a lot of news coming out. We had the earnings, big earnings week, CPI numbers, Fed meeting, all that stuff. Every day is an opportunity to trade in the market. But I'm going to tell you exactly how to trade the market. And the big thing I'm going to show you by even using the Tickblaze platform, it's not what's on the left of the chart, it's what's on the right of the chart. And, I was playing around with the Tickblaze not too long ago, after knowing Sean for a very long time. And there's one great feature that I'm very, very excited about that they have that a lot of platforms don't have. And I'm really going to talk about the DOM, okay? And I'm going to show you some of the tools that I use and how you could see how well the DOM works against it. Now, just keep in mind, today is Saturday. The market's closed. We're not going to get that live data that's going to go through that we're going to be watching, but we will be seeing some stuff. I'll show you some stocks that we traded and so on. But before we go, just quick little risk disclosure. I'm not making any guarantees and promises that you can leave today and you can be the next gazillionaire, okay? All our students vary from student from student. There is a very high risk in trading. So please, everybody, make sure you don't go out there and risk what you can't afford to lose, because trading is a very, very high risk there. All right. Now, once again, thanks again, Sean, and thank Tickblaze for having me. It's great, excited to be here. And like I said, I'm going to show you some really, really cool stuff and why you need the Tickblaze platform and how we use it here at Cyber Trading University. So these couple of things we're going to talk about, and then we're going to lead into it. We're going to talk about what level 2 is, level 3 is, level 4 is. I'm going to show you basically the best times to trade in the market. I'm going to show you exactly what we traded this week at Cyber Trading University, and how you can find some of these stocks. Some of you have missed some of these stocks, don't know why they're going up, why they're going down, all that stuff. And I'm going to show you about the percentage gainers. I'm going to show you how we find these stocks, and because, it's not really hard to find them. It's basically just knowing which one is going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. And I'm going to show you basically the 3 most important tools that you need to be very successful in today's trading. Now, before we go to the live markets, which obviously are closed today, I'm going to go out there later on. I'm going to ask all of you if there's any stocks out there you like. I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are, see how you were preparing for it, because trading is all about having a game plan. Now, before I go out there and show you my style, let me just tell you a little about myself. For some of you don't know who I am. Like I said, I know Tickblaze for many, many years being in the industry, be very world-renowned and known around for a long time. Some of you probably don't know who I am and why Tickblaze has me here. Let me tell you a little bit about my background and why you need to listen really quickly, because I'm about to show you things that are going to really, it's going to really be disturbing. I'll be honest with you, because you're going to see things like, why did I not know that? So I started about 35 years ago. I'm one of the original day traders. They used to call us the SOS bandits back in the old days. When I started, there was about 1,000 day traders. Now there's a few million of them. Thank God, thanks to you guys. On the right, you can see there's a Traders Challenge. I was just talking to Sean about that. I'm actually a 12-time champion at the Traders Challenge. I haven't lost a match yet. That's on the right. That's me on the left. A little more darker hair, obviously a little more gray now today. But I'm one, like I said, I started over the years. I live here in New York. It's financial capital of the world. The way I got started, though, is I was about 22 years old. I was an ignorant 22-year-old kid. I thought I knew everything like every other kid, right? So I went out there. I started trading because everyone here trades, and I lost miserably. I basically blew up 2 accounts. And I know some of you probably went through that yourself. Well, what I've learned that my father always taught me, he says, son, stop pretending that you know what you're doing. Go work for somebody. Go listen to someone that's really good at it. But most importantly, learn from the people that are really bad at it so you know the things not to do. And that's what I always teach my students. We don't teach people how to make money. We teach them how to stop losing it. That's everyone's biggest issue. And let me tell you what I've learned on the first day on the job as being a market maker. I should have never, ever made my first trade because I was so focused on what was on the left of the chart and was not focused on something that's called what's on the right of the chart. The right of the chart are all the orders. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk about the DOM. I'm going to talk about NASDAQ Book Viewer. I'm going to talk about level 4. Let me tell you, what you're going to see there is going to teach you how to have a game plan. You're going to know where the algorithms are, the high frequency trades, the dark pools are. Those are the things that are really super exciting, which a lot of people neglect. And the first thing that I was taught is when I saw that, I always thought, like, how in the hell is anyone going to have any basic, what's the word I'm looking for? A chance to even make money without even knowing this content. And, and like I said, I'm really, really stressing it because you're going to see how important it is. Now, I do a lot of work for NASDAQ. I've done a lot of presentations for NASDAQ. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. NASDAQ wants you to know how to trade their exchange. So when you're on a Tickblaze platform, you're going to see it. You're going to get that data, but the exchanges know that if you know what you're doing, they make more money. If you blow up your account, they're not going to be in business anymore. Okay. So I've been probably, I can't even count how many, maybe 30, 40 times I was out there teaching them how to use their platform. And I'm going to show you it's the same thing. Now, before we move forward, one little gift I want to give everyone here. I'm an author of the book of how to beat market makers at their own game. So if anyone here would like a copy of my book for free, it's $50 on Amazon. Today, just been sticking around. I'm going to give it to you for free. Just send me an email at Fausto.
I'm going to take you up on that, Fausto. I never knew you were an author here. Jesus,
yeah.
I'm reading all these other guys, and I'm not even paying attention to you.
And you know what? It's not self-published. Wiley came up to me, Sean, and said, "Listen, Fausto, we need a day trading book. It has been one since the So's Bandit. So just hit me up, everyone. I'll give it to you right after today's event. It's nice to fast read. It's it's a fast read. It's color. And it's going to teach you a lot of examples, tell you a little history about me. I just gave you a quick little breakdown of it, but definitely while it's fresh in your mind, I'll give you the email again afterwards if you guys want to register for it. So listen, it's not about me. This is really about you. Okay. Everybody here wants that edge. Everybody wants to know exactly what am I doing wrong and become a better trader. Listen, you're going to do this for the rest of your life. Like it or not, you're going to trade your IRAs. You're going to trade, even if you have someone trade your money for you, you at least got to know what they're doing. Every day is a new adventure in the stock market. You get a new presidency. They got different policies. You got Congress. You got CEOs that are selling their stock. You have brokerage firms moving, interested in crypto. There's always something that's going on. It's not just earnings. It's just not the CPI numbers. There's always something that's happening. Drugs come out. Drugs fail. Stocks get destroyed. These are things that you're going to know, but the way you got, and you know this because it affects you, and you just got to know exactly what's going on, and you can't be ignorant and say, okay, well, let's just wait to see what happens tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Okay. Now I'm not here to kind of, just to let you know, I'm actually a day trader. A lot of people are like, ooh, I don't want to be a day trader. I heard it's really risky. It's a big failure rate, everything else. Listen, you know what? You have to learn how to day trade to be a very good swing trader, because it's what happens over the course of the day that turns into a swing. You want to be a good options trader? Well, guess what? It's the movement of the stock that makes an option move. So don't you think you have to learn what's going on with the stock before you get into an option? Everyone's got these strategies, but the strategy, I'm not going to change anyone's strategy here. Everybody could use and take what I'm about to show you. You could apply it towards your style. Now, just out of curiosity, I don't know if anyone, you just want to get to know everyone here. What kind of trader is everybody in the room? Are you a stock trader? Are you a crypto trader? Are you a day trader, a swing trader, an options trader? Just let me know what kind of trader you are, because that's going to help me to know exactly where I want to teach you guys how to go from here. Just let me know. Stock trader, day trader, swing trader, Forex trader, futures trader. That doesn't matter. Liz, you're a day trading, futures, day trading, futures. Okay. And by the way, just make a quick little announcement. Breaking news. I don't know if everybody knows this. I know Sean's gonna be super excited about this. Every brokerage firm is really super excited about this. One of the biggest hurdles before I go into teaching you guys, I just want to tell you something, really nothing to do what we're doing here today, but everyone familiar about the pattern day trading rule?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there's been a lot of scrutiny has been going on to get rid of it. And it looks like it's going to go into eliminate it in the fall. So
really,
it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be big news for all of us. It's been a big challenge for us to put a lot of brokerage firms out of business. It's going to get rid of a lot of the prop trading firms out there. Just give you guys a heads up, because now they're going to bring down the $25,000 day trading rule down to $2,000. So that's going to be really, really big news. I know that's why a lot of people trade futures that I'm seeing there, or options, or
that'll bring a lot of business back into the equities game.
Could be a lot of business back to equity. Yes. So it's going to look like it's going to come back into the fall. You guys can look up the news. I'm super excited about it. Really am. It's going to bring a whole new wave of traders. So watch brokerage firms. They might do pretty good in the market. All right.
Yeah. So that's good. Good. Fausto, yeah. Everybody. It's not insider trading, but it's insider something.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's public. It's public. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's public. I know Tom Sosnoff, a good friend of mine who owns Tastyworks and Thinkorswim, the founder. He's been pushing for it. Schwab's been pushing for it. It's been causing a lot of challenges. Listen, they changed the uptick rule. They changed the T+3 rule, so stocks don't have to wait 3 days to clear. Now, this is just the biggest hurdle. It's going to be a big game changer for all of you guys. Because some of you, like I see, you're trading futures. You might not have to trade futures. You could trade the stock. And, you know, like I said, it pretty much only 30% difference. All right, let's go talk about the market. Let's see what's going on. So listen, we've been getting a little bit of a correction in the market, but we had since the Liberation Day, you know, which was a great little catastrophe that we had. We had a big rally with the S&P, with the Dow and everything else. But the thing is this, there are stocks that are moving every single day. All right. Microsoft came out earnings, beat them, knocked them out of the water. Google beat earnings, Meta beat earnings, but it's not just about the fabulous 7. There are over 25,000 stocks out there that trade in the market. Okay. And the big thing is, it's not about the winners that you have to worry about. Everyone here is about one reason. It's about the losers. Listen, when you hire somebody, okay, anyone here owns a business, whatever it is, you know, it's your responsibility to train the person. Not, you assume that he knows what he's doing. That's why you hired him, but it's you to teach him not to hurt your business or even hurt somebody else. If it's in whatever it may be, if it's in construction, whatever it is. So, and in trading, if you want to find a really good mentor, mentors don't teach you how to make money. They teach you how to stop losing it. It's the losers everyone has to worry about. So I want to talk a little about those losers. Now, the $1 million question is, where's the top of a stock? Okay. Because I think everyone has an issue that they don't want to sell too soon, and they want to know where to get out before it happens. And, you know, when you have a stock that, you know, does breakouts and fills in gaps and everything else, you're like, damn, I wish I held the stock just a little bit longer. And then but most of the time, that's not your problem. The problem is maybe you hold the stock too long, and now it drops a little bit more than what it is. So I'm a little optimistic. I want to talk about certain stocks out there. So the big thing is, whenever you get into a trade, you got to have a game plan. Okay. And the big thing is, always make sure you have a legal pad next to you. Very, very important. Write the stuff down, write the stocks that you're watching, write down the levels, everything else. So let's talk about not looking behind us. Let's talk about looking in front of us. The big thing that you have to learn, that I've learned as a market maker, is that you are the ants, okay? You're just trying to get the crumbs. That's all you're looking to do. If you think you know something about the stock market, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. I mean, I'm being very honest with you. These people trade millions and millions of shares, all right? And they don't have time to play games, all right? They have an order to fill. They got a phone call. They're going to put that order out there. And you're going to see that when I'm going to show you NASDAQ Book Viewer, and you're going to see that in the dome. All right. And, one thing that I just was talking to Sean, he told me it was awesome, is that they just came out with some new videos on the dome. And I highly recommend you watch these videos. And remember, it's not you just being here on Mondays listening to me. It's you guys going out there and learning and watching these short little clips, how to use them. But the big thing is, it's all about following the money. Now, we're live every morning at Cyber Trade University on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So if anybody wants to subscribe to our channel, you want to be able to follow those stocks, which watching, we're there every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, right before the market opens up. Now, let me talk about the 3 tools that we're going to be using. Okay, we got a watch list, we got a chart, and we got level 3. Now, what you're going to see here is that I kind of keep things very, very simple. Okay, I'm not an indicator guy. The reason why is there's something to me personally, it's more important than an indicator. It's following the money, which is the level 3, which is the dome, and also level 4. So we're going to talk about that. But those are really the big 3 things that you really need when it comes to trading. So the first thing that we like to look at is, first of all, people always ask me, hey, what's moving today? Okay, it's like going to the racetrack. Hey, what are you betting today? What's the hot horse in the race? Okay, finding the stocks is extremely easy. Okay, it's basically just working off your big percentage gainers and losers list. And you could see on the big percentage gainers and losers, you could see their stocks are up 30%, 50%, 300%. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to here to teach you. I'm going to invite all of you guys to come to my trading floor at the end of this presentation, and you'll see how we're going to eliminate 90% of those stocks on that watch list, because you can't trade them all, and there's only about maybe 3 or 4 in there that are going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Okay,
I got a question for you, Faust.
Sure.
Sorry to interject, but we ran stock rooms for several years, and there's many different strategy scanners. Do you focus on small caps, or are you mostly mid caps to larger caps? I mean, the question, because there's very different order flow and liquidity on the bigger stocks than there are on the guys that are going from $1 to $7 on the small cap gappers because of major news. Like, I know you guys have your bread and butter. What's your cutoff on those scanners?
Okay, so that's a misconception, Sean, that a lot of people don't realize. I'll give you an example. Like, there was a stock that we trade on Friday, a small cap stock, TNON. Stock traded 250 million shares.
Sure.
It ran from $1 to like $2 to $3. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Within the first 30 minutes. And that's just one of them. I mean, there's a stock called Open, in the midweek. It ran from $1 to $5. Became a day trade, a swing trade. Think traded over 200 million. So there is plenty of liquidity.
Cool.
Okay. So don't worry about that. And I will show you guys that. Me personally, the way I was trained is like, the reason why a lot of people tend to trade, options or whatever it is, because they feel they can't afford the stock. So they think like, well, if you can't afford it, just rent it and borrow it and do an option. That's a wrong way of looking at it. There are a lot of stocks out there you can trade. Remember why you're here. You're here to make money, right? That's it. To make money and to be a good, smart businessman, you want to, because this is basically, it's what a business. I don't know if anybody knows the definition of business. It's, it's making money. That's basically the definition of it. But making money is to risk the least amount of doing it with the high amount of reward. So when you deal with more expensive stocks, you got higher risk. When you deal with less expensive stocks, you could still have high risk, but you're being less exposed. So at the end of the day, you're asking me why is TONON? I don't care. I don't know, and I don't want to know. All I know is if I see people bidding it and buying it, and if that thing goes from $1 to $1.50, okay, I make 50 cents on 1,000 shares. That's $500. That's $130,000 a year. I think everyone's happy with that. I don't think your spouse is going to come back to you like, well, why would you buy $1 stock? I don't think I was going to quote you. At the end of the day, they look at your bag. They look at how much money is in your account. And you know what? It's who's making money, who's not. Now, I'm not saying I don't trade those expensive stocks. I do swing trades, and there's a lot of them. I mean, we trade Tesla, but let me, and I don't want to go on a total rant on that, but some people didn't know that there are ETFs out there you could trade of like Tesla, like TSLL or TSLY or NVIDIA. You could trade NVDL or NVDY or Palantir, Oh, I can't trade Palantir. Now it's 160. There's Palantir ETFs, so you could trade that are in the teens, and these are things that we show you. But the big thing is, are they going to continue to go up or are they going to go down? And you could trade them. So anyway, finding them, that's not the hard part. Don't worry about that. I'll show you that on Monday morning when you come into my trading floor, how we eliminate it and which one's going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Now, let's talk about something that is extremely popular. Every brokerage firm offers it. It's called level 2 quotes. Now, level 2 has been around forever. The problem with level 2 is it's not the same as it was 20 years ago. Okay. Level 2 has been outdated for the past 20, 30 years. And I'll tell you why. Back in the old days, you were able to monitor and see what brokerage firms were bidding for the stock and selling it. So let me just get my crayons out here so you guys can follow along.
And I got some good news for you, Fausto, and this was more of a gift. You actually led me when we started talking several months ago. It was you that sparked the interest for us to build a custom level 2. So Tickblaze right now is we looked at 9 equity platforms globally, and we basically looked at all the good, all the bad, all the negatives, all the stuff that everyone's using, because we're really known for custom innovation on tech. And for the last 4 months, we've had a development team building proprietary level 2 widgets inside of Tickblaze.
Really?
We've basically built all the integrations for ARCA and all the different routing, but we have hotkey buttons built in, and we have trade. What you're able to do is you can build brackets into them so that instead of just having exposed orders, you can have your targets and stops attached to the order execution automatically, just like you would in the Dome or the chart trader. So when that comes out, I'll do a demo for you and all your group, because I don't think you'll ever want to place a trade on another level 2 on another platform ever again.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? A lot of people, Sean, get very confused, and when they look at us, they look at a stock. They look at a stock like let me explain to some people what it is so they understand where we're at. Level 2, you're basically seeing all the exchanges. So these are all exchanges. ARCA is New York Stock Exchange. This is the NASDAQ exchange, EGDX, all of them. So you're seeing all the exchanges. Okay. The problem with this is that you're not seeing the depth to book. You're not seeing all the orders out there. You're just seeing the best buyer and the best seller. And this number moves really fast. So basically, you're just kind of getting an idea what the real bid is and the real offer is, but you're not seeing the depth to book. You're not seeing all the buyers at that exchange and all of them. So I'll show you how we aggregate it and so on. And back in the old days, you were able to see those, and not only that, but market makers don't need to show their orders anymore. Now they just route it through these ECNs now. So, and an ECN, like I said, if anybody knows what it is, it's called Electronic Communication Network. I was actually, believe it or not, one of the beta testers back in the 90s that helped develop the ECNs that are there today, that you guys use today. So I'm very, very, fluent of everything of how they work, what they do, and how they execute. But this has been outdated for, like I said, for the past 20, 30 years. So, and that's why it's free, for everyone here. That's why they give it to you for free. And basically that's all it's worth. But, so let me move on and show you something a little bit differently, which is called the NASDAQ book viewer. And, and what's nice about the book viewer, well, I'm about to show you, this is directly through NASDAQ, that when you see how this works, then you'll know how the Dome works. Okay. And how valuable the Dome is. But, so this is going to be more of a basic 101 explaining what you're seeing. And then when you go to the Tickblaze and you look at the Dome, then you'll know not to neglect to oh, now I know why this is more important. I don't know about for you guys, but for me, why I would need to use that more than anything. But this is going to help break down the basics of it, and then you'll know what it leads to that. So basically, there are a stock could trade on any exchange. Okay. It's not like if a stock trades on a New York Stock Exchange, it only trades on a New York. Now you could trade on the NASDAQ, you could trade on ECN. So it's basically fluent. Back in the old days, when a stock was 3-letter symbols and less, it would only trade on New York. Now NASDAQ, a 3-letter symbol, 1-letter symbol could trade on a NASDAQ. So you'll have to distinguish what trades on what exchange and others. So that we squash that. Now, the way you're looking at the NASDAQ market is this. Envision you have a seat on the exchange, okay? I don't know if anybody here would ever think how valuable it would be to be on a New York Stock Exchange. Imagine walking down on the floor of the exchange and you get to see every buyer, every seller, every brokerage firm, what specialist, runner, everything, what they're buying, why they're cheering, who's over there hiding, and who's there bidding and everything else. Well, with today's technology, you could do it now. The exchanges, what they did was this. The New York Stock Exchange was a private club, okay? And they didn't like it. And they found out that it was holding them back, that it was up to them to dictate what the price of the stock was. And they said, you know what? We want to make the exchanges fair for the whole world. Why are we only letting these people to control the market? Why can't you go out there and place a bid and offer? Why can't you make a why does it always have to deal with, it has to go through a middleman? So they got rid of the middleman. So that is the power of what you have right now. And what's nice about it is that now you could see it. So one thing that we teach on our training, which I can't show you now, I'll show you next week when you come to my trading floor, you could actually see your orders going out there through direct access. And what's nice about the Tickblaze platform is now you can integrate it into a lot of these brokerage firms, which I'm going to bring it up over here. Sean was just telling me, now you could put it through E-Trade, Tradier, TradeStation, Webull. These are all the brokerage firms. So how to set it up is great.
We also clear through Interactive Brokers. It's a different list of connections.
Okay.
Yeah, I put the links in here for everybody to go to those YouTube. So if you go up the chat, there's a list of all the broker connections for stocks plus Interactive Brokers, and then there's 2 videos for the Dome that we just put in favor of this presentation, because I know you're a Dome trader. So we put them yesterday. So anybody that's Dome trading, you can watch Dome 1 and Dome 2 on that, and you'll be able to see that.
Yeah, that's right here. I was just the great videos, and they're nice. They're like 20-30 minutes long. It goes into every detail on it. I'm actually going to work on making my own video too for the Dome too, to get you guys see a little bit more on my end, so you guys can get comfortable with that Dome a little bit more. But to understand how the Dome works is this is where it's getting its data from. Okay, you got to get the money, you got to get the order, you got to get the data from the exchange, and that will lead to the Dome. So right now we're only looking at, and by the way, Sean, the Dome, how many ECNs does the Dome handle? How many could you subscribe to?
That's a good question. So we built new integrations. So I don't have an answer for you on that, but I know like all of the ones that are in any equities platforms now are available, like Arca, Bats, Edge, all that stuff. Those will all be there. Yeah.
Right.
There won't be any limitations. Yeah.
So think about it. I'm only showing you one exchange. And when we looked at level 2, you'll notice there was a bunch of exchanges. You had EDGX, Bats, Arca, everything else. So that EDGX and NASDAQ is obviously the biggest. NASDAQ, I think, does about 50% of the total volume of every stock out there. So you don't really need all of them. I mean, but I'm going to show you how the one works. So let me get to that and let me show you where we're at. So basically, we're looking at Tesla. And you're seeing every single order in the entire world that want to buy Tesla at every single price. And you're seeing every seller out there that's looking to sell Tesla at every price. And whoever wants to buy for the most is up on top. Whoever wants to pay for the least is down at the bottom. So it's basically a big chat room. And it's basically, depending on where you want to buy and sell it, that's where you're going to be. All right. Now, the problem that people have with this, and what you're probably seeing here, is there's a lot of numbers. And it's confusing. You're like, and the thing moves pretty fast. You're like, I don't know what I'm looking at, Fausto. I mean, yeah, I get it. And by the way, when you start seeing this thing move, you're going to realize why you shouldn't be in certain stocks that you're in. Because when I start seeing people like, wow, this moves so fast, this is not for me. I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? You're trading that stock. And now you know why you're not making money on it. And that's why you're you're getting shaken out of certain stocks. But I'm going to simplify it for you. And then you're going to see how with the videos that they made with Tickblaze, how you could it's even more, how they simplified even more. So let me show you what we got going on here. Let me show you how we utilize this. I got a question to ask everyone. And this is a very important question. By the way, if you can't answer this question, honestly, don't take this in the wrong way. You should not be trading, okay? How do stocks go up and down in the stock market? Can anyone just answer that question? It's a very simple question. And by the way, Lyndon Ramsey, thank you so much for your comments and sharing your thoughts here. And hopefully everybody's reading it. But could everyone just answer that question in the chat? How do things go up and down in the market? Margaret, thank you very much. Very simple. Greg, what about you? Jacob, Jay, Chuck, Chad, how do things go up and down? Just write SMB. Don't be scared. Don't be embarrassed. No one's going to make fun of you. Okay. Buyers and sellers. Okay. So let me tell you what the mistake that people, what they do in trading. They don't look for buyers and sellers. They look for support and resistance. Let me explain something to you. You cannot have a support level unless the buyers are out there that make that support. You can't have a resistance level unless you have the sellers that make that resistance. Now, it's always nice to see what's happening in the past, but how is that indicative of the future? See, what you're looking at here is the left of the chart. This is the past. This is the right of the chart. These are the sellers in the future. So for you to have those buyers, that support out there, you got to make sure that those same buyers that were in the past are there in the future. So here you have an example, and you're looking at a stock right here. And it doesn't matter what stock it is, even though it is NVIDIA. You can see how the stock started right around here, got close to 180, whatever it is, and the stock came down. And then all of a sudden it stopped right here. And the question is, why did it stop at 175? And don't tell me because the whole number, whatever it is. That's not the reason. That's ignorance. There's a reason why it stopped there. It's not a mental number. Or past history. There's a reason. And the reason is this. If you look over here down, and you will see this on the dome also, but if you look at the NASDAQ market, somebody out there, and it's not one person, it's many people, there's 178,000 shares looking to be bought at 175.20. And it's not even 175. It's 20 cents above. So why would that stock go up there? It's not because someone liked it. It's not because it's a whole 175. It's because there's 178,000 shares looking to be bought out there. Okay. And by the way, when you look at the NASDAQ market and you use this, and then you compare it and look at the dome, you're going to see it. Remember, the difference between the dome and this is the dome, you're going to be able to see it on, there could be multiple exchanges. You're only looking at one exchange. So please keep that in mind. The dome, you could integrate multiple exchanges there. So you aggregate all those exchanges into one order. So if you look down the dome there, that might be maybe 400,000 shares. You know what I mean? When you start adding ARCA and all those other ones out there. A couple of questions coming across here. William, is it always the orders for buyers or sellers? The past is only the past and given no guarantee for the future. Right. And that's a great point, William. The past is not always a guarantee that's going to make a support levels. How many times have you looked at a trade and be like, holy crap, why did the stock break this support? It didn't say that on the Fibonacci. It didn't say it on the MACD. It didn't say it on Schenken. I thought Schenken is a great smart guy. You know what? It's because the buyers were done.
I got a question for you, Fausto, because obviously one of the things that matters in certain platforms is how many levels deep you can go in the book, right? And we have some data feeds that we connect to that have unlimited market depth. So would you say that you take, like, I love this because, sometimes in the day trading side, you can see these big levels, but they come and go, they get pulled, or they're like, you have the ability to see them way down in levels of the depth. What's your thoughts on this? Like, because sometimes you might be trading on a 1 minute chart or a 5 minute chart, but is there any advantages to looking at levels way out in the future on the book? Like, is it people that are putting swing levels out there on big major levels, like, or is it just mainly for day trading?
No. This applies for crypto. This applies to futures. First of all, I'll give you an example. You ever, anyone here who trades options? You ever look when you see like a big order out there in options, like, oh, there's a lot of orders. Where do you think those orders come from? These are those orders right there. Remember, an option, if somebody sells an option, they have to guarantee it with a stock order. Because remember, you can't make fake orders, fake options order out there. You have to guarantee it, letting someone borrow it. And this is where you're going to see those orders. So yes, this does apply towards swing trading. Okay. And you could see it out there way in the future. And I'll show that to you on Monday when the market opens up, when everyone is going to sign up. So yes, this applies even towards long-term trading. So it doesn't, but what I was telling you earlier, with some of you listening, everything starts as a day trade. So don't ever think like, I don't want to be a day trader. When you go into the market and you want to know, why is the market going down? Why did they pick this number? Is because those orders are out there, and if you wait, maybe I'll come back tomorrow, you'll see orders out there in the future. So for example, like, which I'm called NVIDIA, like I could see orders right now that are already set, that are at the 190 order out there, and then and can somebody cancel? I think that's some people's asking question. Yeah, anybody could change their mind, but don't think, if somebody told me, because I know someone's going to probably ask me, how do I know these are real orders? You get that all the time. And this is what we'll do. I'll go find an Apple. I'll find an order like this Apple order for 55,000. We'll use your money, and you tell me how fake it is. Okay, so they're all real orders. Nobody can go out there and place an order and pretend they're like, well, maybe I could trick somebody. You know what? Somebody can get executed, so they're all real, but they can change their mind. But I don't know this, Sean. All 607 people are in cahoots with each other and going to cancel at the same time. So when you're looking at Apple right here and you want to see how the stock goes up and want to know why did it go up here, came down, came here, and had such a tough time breaking, this 215, 214 number, and you're wondering why every time you get things going down. Well, if you notice on the sell side, there's a lot of sellers at every single price. 3 digits, 4 digits, but there's your big digit right there, that 5-digit number right there, the 55,000. So when I was trying to tell you earlier, and this is something on the dome that might also be a little confusing, you're going to see, you're going to see every single order out there. But what I like to do is I like to aggregate it, and I like to try to filter it out. And these are kind of the tools that we kind of teach you what to do, because then it will simplify and slow it down a little bit. So you're focused more on that order. Because if I didn't do, and this is what the dome does a really good job doing it. But if I didn't aggregate it and check it, it's going to show me all 600 orders out there. And that line's going to be this long, right? And then I might not even see that, because then I'll have like, I have 1,400 orders. It'll show me every order that makes up the 4,000. But the dome actually aggregates it, and it aggregates all the exchanges. So remember, we're just looking at the NASDAQ market. We're not looking, when you start adding all the other ones, it's going to definitely give you more data. Now let me show you another one. These are a couple of Iceberg orders that I found just on Google and Tesla. All right. So Google is dropping. All right. Now, do you ever, anyone here own a stock and it's going down? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Okay. You hope, right? So what is your game plan? I'm just out of curiosity. Can anybody tell me, if you own a stock and it's going down, what do you do? You freak out. You call your wife, you call your broker, you turn the TV on. What do you do? What's your game plan? All right. Sell options. Okay. I don't know why. Okay. That's not, wouldn't be my strategy, but maybe for you. But what, anyone else? What do you do? Sell? What do you guys do? Don't be a deer in the headlights, everyone. If you don't know that answer, then you should not be trading, or you really need a lot of help in trading. Okay. Let me tell you what you need to do. You got to have a game plan. And your game plan is this. What did we just learn? What did I just ask you a couple of minutes ago? How do stocks go up and go down? Right? Buyers and sellers. So if you have a stock that's going down, you're going to do two things. You're going to want to know where previous support levels are. And what you should be knowing is, where are the buyers in the future? Because there's always going to be an opportunity for someone to be like, that's going to buy it. Maybe they're covering a short, whatever it is, but there's always going to be a buyer out there. So Google's not going to zero. We all know that. All right. It's going to bounce somewhere. The problem is the chart's not going to show you that. So we got to go see, and not worry about panicking. We got to see how far it's going to drop. So when you look at the exchange, you'll notice right here that there is a 170,000 share buyer at 185. Now, let me go back. We're at 188, 186. So when you go back and look at it and say, okay, well, it looks like the next support level in theory is going to be where the next biggest buyers are, and it's about 185. So like it or not, hope all you want, that's where it's going to go to. Now, some of you are going to probably freak out and be like, I can't afford it, go down another $5, whatever it is. Hey, listen, that's where the buyer is, okay? Let me explain something to you. This is what I teach, how I was taught when I started as a market maker. Very simple charting. Take your eyes off the screen, okay? What do you got? You got a ceiling, you got a floor, right? If you break through your floor, right, look at that floor. Where are you going? You're going to the next floor. Now, that floor could be 10 feet. It could be 50 feet. It could be 2 feet. But like it or not, the only thing that's going to stop you from going any lower is the next floor.
You mean it's not my line that I drew on my chart?
No. You can imagine that all you want. It's where that next floor is.
I have
and
a couple questions.
Got to be that next biggest buyer.
There's a couple questions for you here, Fausto, because they're actually your clients. I just want to answer them for you. It says right now, apparently DX feed comes with Tickblaze and it's driven by the options chain. So I think they're referring to the striker options indicators that we have in the platform. Just to make note of the options stuff that we have for Tickblaze powered by DX feed is only a proprietary tool that looks at weekly and 0 DT options. It has nothing to do with the DOM. And actually the DX feed data that comes inside of Tickblaze, if you buy the actual real-time data, DX feed has unlimited market depth. So you could go hundreds of levels up and not have to worry about, like some platforms like Ninja and a few others, like great platforms. We worked with all of them, but they only allow 10 levels deep, 20 levels deep. You can actually go hundreds of levels depth in some of the data feeds that we have. So hopefully that answers your question. The next one is, we use Benzinga Pro like Fausto. Is there any connection? We don't have Benzinga data. We actually have Data Bento, we have CQG, we have Rhythmic, we have DX feed, and any of the broker data feeds that come in through your broker. But we work with the main sources. Yeah.
We work with all of them. Listen, DX feed is probably the biggest and most popular one that most people use. Remember, like, if everybody here.
And what people don't know is they buy their data from Data Bento. So Data Bento and us are actually directly integrated. Data Bento powers the institutional quant firms. They're the house, so DXFeed actually buys their data from Data Bento, packages and resells the historical. So Data Bento is where the big players are, the $500 million funds, et cetera. So we work with all of it. So there's no limitations.
Right. And you need that data, like, you need that data to get this feed. Like, for example, just to let everybody know, when I got started, I had to pay $1,000 a month for this data. Okay. Now, I don't know anybody here. I mean, you probably first thing you think of, like, this is great technology, like, with DX feed and Davento, you're like, but I don't know, $1,000 sounds like a lot. Imagine telling a 22-year-old, to dish out $1,000 and had to split the profit with the brokerage firm. And, and I had to go work, take a ride to the city. So I made that investment. It doesn't cost $1,000 today. Okay. Like NASDAQ Book Viewer, they only charge you $15 for the data. And then obviously, with DX feed, the more you add more exchanges, I'm not here to tell you about the fees that you leave at the Tickblaze to tell you that. But the more you add, the more ECNs you add to it, the more the price goes up. But I just want to let you know, nobody works for free. Okay. So if anyone here, this is what I'm trying to get to it. Oh, my brokerage firm gives this to me for free. My brokerage gives it for free. Let me tell you something. That's all it's worth. Just please keep in mind, how do you think brokerage firms make money if they're giving this stuff for free? They're trading against you. Okay. The less they give you, the less the better chances you're going to fail. And then what they're doing is they're trading against you. How do I know that? Because that's what I used to do. Okay. When I was a market maker, somebody wanted to sell something, they had to come to me, and I wasn't buying in the stock unless I was making a profit. It's just how it is. I'm not here to break even. Oh, you want to buy the stock at $10? I'm going to pay $10 for it. What do I make out of it? That's not how they work. So it's something we teach you also in our classes. So please keep in mind the data feeds. If you think $15 is expensive, you should not be trading. Okay. If you think DX feeds is whatever they charge, $100, whatever it is, the fees, whatever they are, you shouldn't be trading. Listen, this job it pays a very good salary. A lot of you have a lot of money in the market. Don't worry about the fees. But getting back to the style of trading, just think about what you're seeing here. You own Google, it's going down, big buyer out there. You could see that data. And sure enough, if you're trying to figure it out, why did the stock bounce at these prices is because of that big buyer right there. And that's why the stock went from 194, tanked. And then you could see this is what's called consolidation, and never wanted to get past this 81 orders out there at 170. And eventually it goes up. And you know what ends up happening? One other thing that we also show you is that is a limit order, right? Did you ever put a limit order out there and you want to buy a stock and you didn't get executed, but you really want the stock, right? Well, there's only one way to get it. You got to bid up for it. So maybe that 170,000 share buyer that put a bid out there said, screw it. No one's selling to me. I'm just going to buy from all the sellers out there. And he could be the person that's responsible that ran the stock up to 196. And that could happen. And that's something I don't have time to teach you here, but I'll show you next week. But that's where time and sales come into effect. That's how you see orders come in. That's why these candlesticks start turning green and not turning red. These are the other things that you're going to learn as going on. But my goal today is just trying to teach you all here is about following the money, the right of the chart. And that's what you're seeing here. Let me show you another couple examples here. So let's go check out Tesla, by the way. And remember, Sean was asking you, Fausto, are you a fan of small caps, big caps? This works on every single stock, okay? So I'm out there just showing you brand names because I don't want people to be neglected. Oh, I don't trade inexpensive stocks. I mean, whatever it is, I don't trade brand names. They do it on every single stock. The only difference is when you do more expensive stocks, you need more money to do it, and I'm not a fan of that. But let's go to Tesla. Stock came out with bad earnings, went from 338, dropped down to 326, and then shot back to 344, okay? Now, how do you interpret bad earnings? How do we really know how bad it is? You don't. You just, listen, it's all due to supply and demand. People are buying, people are selling, but what you can see is where is it going to, when you look at all these orders, and even when we go to the dome, you're going to see these orders out there. You're going to be like, holy crap, there's a 700,000 share seller at 335. So when you really think about that, all this stuff is just garbage. You don't need, this is all because they have to show you all the orders out there. This is the only thing you're really interested in. Okay. And then when you're looking on the bid side, you just kind of just looking, where is the biggest buyer? I mean, there's not really big buyers, but there's a big ass seller out there, So that is your goal. You want to see where you are. So if the stock is going up, you want to know where the sellers are. When the stock is going down, you want to see where the big block buyers are. And that's really what it comes down to it. So let me just clear this out and go to the next slide and show you what I mean. That's over $250 million looking to be sold there. What makes you think that you know more than $250 million shares out there? That's the other thing I try to tell everyone. One thing my mentor has always taught me, this is Fausto, when you think you know something about the stock market, you're going to lose all your money. And I'm like, I don't understand. What does that mean? I mean, I'm a smart guy. I think I know what I'm doing. And they always told me, it's not what you think. It's what the $250 million are doing out there think. Don't go out there and think you're smarter than them. You don't beat them, just join them. And that's okay. Because what do you think happens next? Stock, he went to 333 and shot right down to 310. And that's in a matter of a couple hours. And you're here freaking out and you're like, I don't understand. Do I sell it now? Do I sell it at 325? Next thing you know, you had 320. Like, shoot, do I sell at 320? Next thing you know, you're down to 310. And now all of a sudden your day trade turns into a swing trade. And then your swing trade turns to an investment. And guess what? Now you're stuck in the market and you can't trade anymore and you're out of business because you didn't want to take a loss because you didn't know that the street was dumping the stock. Okay. And that is something that I focus on so much, when it comes to trading. Now, like I told you, this is not what I was taught. I live here on Wall Street. I live here. I live in a town where some of the biggest traders in the world are, you're not going to beat these guys. One of them lives across the street from me. You know what I mean? And he laughs. He laughs at me, you know, like that people, you know, that listen, anyone here watch the movie? First of all, definitely watch the movie The Big Short. If you want to know how the stock market works, about the financial crisis, watch that movie.
I
But
met him. I met him personally in Miami last year at a conference. They had him on stage. We were at a hedge fund conference, so it was pretty cool.
that is, and let me tell you, you got to watch the movie probably twice to even understand it. But another great movie is watch the movie about GameStop. Okay, and you'll see exactly how things get manipulated. And if you want to know how stocks become a big short squeeze and everything else, GameStop, Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, you'll see them. You'll see how you're going up against these people, and they have endless money. Okay, they have endless money, and they will be. And you hear the guy goes, "How much you down today?" "I'm down $1 billion." And the guy goes, and his wife asks him, "How much you down today?" "We're down another $1 billion." She's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, how's that impossible?" But don't worry about it. They got endless money. BlackRock is worth $1 trillion. You won't beat them, but you could see their orders out there, and that's the power of it. So when I go out there and I see these orders, and you see $250 million looking to be sold, and want to know why it's going down, that's the reason why. Now we call these iceberg orders. Now the reason I call it an iceberg order is I came up with this word after watching the movie The Titanic, and you know what happened? It didn't work out too well for the Titanic. You know, the poor ship is over here, you know, looking at the it's looking what's on top of the water, you know, but don't realize it's what's on the bottom of the water, because you know, an iceberg is humongous on the bottom. You just see what could float. And if you don't see what's on the bottom and you don't have that technology and pay for the money for the sonar, it didn't work out too well for the Titanic. So you got to know where these big iceberg orders are. A couple of questions came here. Say, I only trade NASDAQ futures. How can that information benefit me? How can its same kind of buyers and sellers work the dome? Okay, so let me explain something to you that I personally don't like to trade the NASDAQ futures, not because I have anything against it. You're focusing on one stock, one movement. There are 25,000 stocks out there. Sometimes the NASDAQ futures are not moving. Okay. And what happens on it when you come to the trading floor, there's a lot of algorithms that kick in there. So it's very difficult to see the iceberg orders. Actually, you could see better on crypto, on certain crypto stocks, than watching NASDAQ futures. So, like I said, I can't show it to you what it looks like now, but when you come in on Monday, I'll show you what it looks like and you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, if you're good at it and you like trading, you know, God bless you. For me, I'd rather trade stocks like, you know, Open and TSLL and Amazon, you know, stocks that are very active today, you know, that moved very, very well in the market. Fig, did you guys see what happened with Fig, the stock Fig? I mean, you know, went public 2 days ago. That stock went from 100, went to like 140 in 2 days. So, you know, these are the things I kind of look at, you know. What was the first movie I talked about? The Big Short. That's that one. Definitely got to watch that one. My all-time favorite. And there's actually two of them. You could watch also, if anyone was a fan of the Canadians, BlackBerry was a good one. That had a lot to do with the stock market. And GameStop, you know, that was a good one too. Definitely watch those movies over the weekend. And all right, so let's move on because we're almost done here. Now, what I like to recommend everybody do is this. Get the book viewer, and, you know, it costs $15. It's cheap. I don't work for NASDAQ. I don't make any money at it. I don't work for, you know, I don't work for Tickblaze. I don't get paid for this. I don't get anything. But I like you to get it for one reason. When you compare the two, then you'll know how the dome works so much better, right? So this is a very cheap way of looking at it. And then you'll see the data, how it comes on the dome, and why the dome is giving you so much more technology, better, you know, more orders that you won't see, and then why you'll add on to it. So this is just a cheaper way. So just send me an email. I got like 2 videos that are 5 minutes long. It'll show you, because this is the other thing, what they did here on the dome, which is awesome. Okay. So they built these videos here for you. And they just came out with these 2 right here. You can see Dome 1 and Dome 2. All right. And, you know, mine are 5 minutes long. So the thing is, if you looked at the dome, you're not going to know what you're looking at. You're going to see all these numbers changing. You're going to see all these lines moving back and forth. And until you watch those videos, then you're going to and until you start trading it, then you're going to understand it. So to simplify it, when you look at the book viewer and then you compare the two, then you're going to know why one's better than the other, but, so that's the way I kind of always teach everyone. And it's with any brokerage firm. I mean, people have a Schwab account, they have their own book, TradeStation has their own book, and it's just a cheaper way when people are like, well, I don't want to go out there. Let me play around for free and free this. I'm just telling everybody right now, nothing is free. Okay. And if you're looking for free stuff, you're not going to be a successful trader. I actually want to trade against people who want free stuff. No, nothing personal to you guys, but listen, I'm a professional athlete. I get paid to win. All right. I don't get paid to lose. And I just know how to beat the people that lose. And those are the people who you really want to trade against. There are millions, there's over 25 million people that trade over the world. If we go ask ChatGPT, it's a 90% failure rate. And the first thing people always ask you, why would you want to get into a business with 90% failure rate? Well, I'm telling you why they're failing is because they don't have mentors. They try to figure on their own, and they don't have a platform like Tickblaze, and that's what it is. So that's the reason why. So getting back to it, just like I said, just drop me an email and I'll be able to. And listen, I know a lot of you guys are a little embarrassed or nervous to ask any questions here. Maybe you're not a good typer. Listen, just email me. I'll be happy. I'll answer any of your questions. Actually, believe it or not, I will actually even talk to you on the phone. Okay. I mean, that's something that I do. Listen, envision me being your doctor. And if you're really looking to learn how to trade, I'm going to talk to you on the phone. I mean, as long as you take me seriously and you watch what's going on in the room. I mean, look at our Google reviews and everything. I talk to all my students. And some of my students here will tell you that I talk to them all the time because you know what? Listen, trading's not for everyone. And sometimes you guys are going the wrong direction and you might want to just ask somebody that right question. Just feel free. I'll talk to you on the phone. I'll give you the time of day, listen, and I know you're not going to waste my time. So if you take me seriously, I'll take you seriously. Now, regarding about the Tickblaze platform, on the Dome, because if I bring up the platform here and show it to you, the market is closed. So you can see right here, no matter what we take, but here's the Tickblaze platform. You can see it right there. Like Apple, there's no data coming across, but what you'll see is that how this thing is moving very quickly and very easily. Those videos that they posted up here are great videos to show you that you could open up multiple domes on certain stocks. I recommend you only work with one stock at a time. Okay. And you'll see how we work with one stock at a time. You don't need to, the more data you get in there, the more confused you're going to get. So let's start working small. One of the things I try to work with my traders is I try to teach them, start small shares, make mistakes, learn from that mistake so you don't do it again. And then that's how you'll get better at it. That's how you're going to learn how to trade, being a very successful trader. But listen, everyone's got a certain style with all these indicators and everything out there, but you could see it. It's a very simple platform. Sean put a lot of effort into this platform. Tickblaze, I've playing around with so many platforms, MetaStock, Wealth 365, TradeStation. I mean, there's so many of them out there. But there's only a certain feature to me that a lot of them are the same. What separates everything from everyone else is that, because a lot of people don't have that, and that's the feature that sells me on the platform more. That's why I'm here today, because that is something that we really kind of we focus on. Now, by the way, does anyone have any questions? Yeah, the Dome is basically the depth of market. That's basically what that comes in. Does anyone have any questions, by the way? Now, what we do is and if you do, just feel free to chat them in there. But we're really coming here to the end of it. So just to let you know, I practice what I preach. Everything that you see, we do live in the market. I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't make any recommendations. I give you watch lists. First of all, it's illegal to do that. I teach you how to think for yourself. So if there's something you like to trade, we're going to show you where to look, because you got to hit the button at the end of the day, right? You need to go out there and know where to get in and out of it. Trading is about 70% mental, 30% technique. So no matter what style you trade, options, futures, Forex, they pretty much trade all the same. It's just a different market. 70% of it is the psychology part about it. Let me see. Is this used in CTU? Yes, it is. Angelina, what will reply available? I got in late. Well, Kevin, we did record it, so you always can come back and watch the beginning of it. All right. Now, there is something too that we do cover in where we talk about level 4, where you could see more of a heat map. I know I was just talking to Sean about implementing it into the platform, which is going to be pretty awesome. So
yeah, it's coming. It's coming. We've got liquidity levels coming. We've got level 2 depth of market levels. What we're actually doing and it's interesting that you brought this up, is that inside of your examples, you were showing where these big aggregated orders are. You go into the settings, aggregate the orders from the different exchanges so that you can consolidate them into one level.
Right.
What happens though, and you said this, that when you're trading, these things are moving and there's flashing bells and whistles. It's like going into a casino. The endorphins in your brain, they start overpowering the circuitry and your ability to make decisions. So what we're aiming to do is we're aiming to have an indicator that puts those on your chart so that you don't actually have to see them. You can just look at the levels and we can weight them based on size. And the goal is that you don't actually have to look inside the dome. You just transfer that data onto your charts. And like you said, stepping onto the floor, well, we'll draw the floor on your chart, which is leading, and then we'll also rank them based on size and merit, and you'll be able to color code them. So like I said, we're innovating on the tech side, and everything that you've just discussed, we're looking to automate it into levels so that you and everyone else that you're trading with can actually just see them and just trade them.
Yeah, and that's where I call the level 4. That's the next level of it, because when you start seeing it on a heat map, that actually kind of eliminates all that noise for you, because because that's where I was trying to tell you why I go to NASDAQ Book Viewer, and then you go to the Dome, and then you lead it to a heat map. But we're getting there. And that's what's great about Sean and with Tickblaze. Here's a guy that's looking to innovate that platform better than ever. Yeah. Then when you get people just like, they built it, it's done, it's over with. So that's going to be super exciting when that comes out. And listen, the way you have to do it, it's all about the data. You know what I mean? As long as you get the data in and you got the data, you could build whatever you want. But that's really where it comes down to it. So ready for the next step. Once again, just to let everybody know, if you guys want to come and see me trade live and you want to meet the hundreds of students that are in our trading floor, Cyber Trade University, just feel free. Look at our Google reviews for 35 years. We're probably the only school that has a 5-star rating. Our biggest thing is we are big when it comes to customer service. We talk to all our students. We give you our phone number. Our staff is really trying to help you. Our students are trying to help you. We're a team. You got to be involved in a team, and you got to surround yourself with a team. This is not trading by yourself. You can't bounce ideas and try to learn this on YouTube. You got to, and if you don't like us, whatever it is, at least try it. But everyone here, it has to be, you got to find someone that is your style. And there's a good group of people that you can learn from that trades the way you are. That's the only really good way how you're going to succeed in this business. And like I said, we'll show you how we see these iceberg orders live in the market and so on. Now, basically the promotion I'm going to be doing, everyone, here is all I'm asking for is a $9 trial. If you want to come in there and see it, it's a 1-week trial. I'm going to give you my book, which for free anyway. But what you're going to get is I'm going to give you all this stuff for free. We do live commentary all day long. We start at 7:30 in the morning Eastern to 4:30 in the afternoon. So you'll see pre-market, after-market trading. You'll see the message board. You'll see all the traders, the students in there. They're showing what they're buying and selling. We don't talk about money. We only do things in points because number one, I don't like egos. I don't like people bragging. And, there are people starting off with small lots and big lots. So you'll see like Charlene, she made herself 30 cents on this trade, 10 cents, whatever it is. They're day trading and they're also swing trading also. But everyone's here. Chuck did a nice little swing trade on HIMS, made about $3 on that one. Gene did really well. You see how we all try to help each other, work together, and you're going to meet a lot of them. And listen, Lynn and Randy are there also. So, I mean, it's some other students are here. We're all trying to kind of like, we're good. So we're a good support group, and it's nice. So you could just show up whenever you want. You don't got to be there all day. You can come once a week. You can come in the morning, come in the afternoon. We're there all day, and you'll meet all different people around the world. We also have an alert service. So, we'll post our watch list We'll post examples that are moving. We'll show you Iceberg orders out there. So we're always constantly showing you what's happening. So let's say you're not home, you want access on your phone, whatever it is, you're always going to have some way to be connected real time with Cyber Trade University. We also, once again, we have some of a limited podcast like with Sean and everyone else. You'll have VIP access to all that stuff. But they're really, really good classes. And with the podcasts, they're awesome too. And like I said, it's all for $9. And by the way, you have a week. We're not going to charge you a subscription at the end of the week. If you want your money back at the end of the week, the $9, we'll give it back to you. We just feel like we want to charge you $9 because it gives you a little skin in the game, and it just kind of weeds out.
You can't get a coffee at Starbucks for $9 because you always add the cookie, and it always makes it at least 12.
I disagree. I disagree with you. I went to a coffee shop and I bought an iced coffee, and it cost me $9.
Jesus.
And I'm like, I just wanted a coffee, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, if you're going to learn this, this is the person you want to learn this from. He's pioneered it. He's invented it. He's the one that's been doing it before anybody's been doing it.
Yep.
And in reality, you can do this in any asset class that has a depth of market. So even if you're not a stock trader, you can learn what he's doing. If you want to bring it into futures, you can leverage it into futures. You can keep it in stocks. I mean, you're not going to do it in Forex and crypto if they don't have depth of book, but they do have depth of book on some of the assets and some of the platforms. So, I mean, once you learn it, I mean, it is a skill set that you'll have for life. So I highly encourage taking a look at what he's doing here, guys. I mean, you're not going to get a better deal than this. I mean, it's seeing is believing. Just go in, take a look at what he's doing. And I promise you, you won't be disappointed. I've seen it. I've watched what he's done. I've seen his videos. I've seen him in the classrooms. It's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wouldn't be around for 35 years and have a 5-star rating if it wasn't, and
exactly,
be endorsed by all these big brokerage firms like like Tickblaze. But like I said, I used to charge $90, $900. I said, listen, I'm just looking for everybody here just to know what they're getting themselves involved in.
Sure.
A couple of questions here just to kind of tell everybody that are very popular questions. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. But a lot of people always ask me, how much money do I need to get started? And I'm like, I know this is ridiculous, but $9, that's really need to get started. Don't worry about brokerage accounts. Don't worry about, do I need to get this up and running? You don't even know this is for you or not, right? You don't go out there and buy the car when you didn't even know how to drive, because you might buy the wrong car. You know what I mean? So just before you get started and worry about it, if you got a brokerage account, whatever, or you're looking to open up, don't worry about that. Just start off with this first. The next thing people always ask me is, like I said, do I need a brokerage account to get started? No, don't. You're there just to watch, right? You want to make sure it's for you or not, because like I said before, it might not be for you. You might think it is. You might be doing all this research, but come and see what it's like to walk on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange first before you go out there and put all this money into the market. Because the worst thing that could happen is you get involved into the wrong one, and and all of a sudden you get yourself crushed and you're out of business. Where do I get level 2 and level 3 and whatever? Listen, Sean told you, how to get your platform. You don't need it for class. Don't worry about it. You don't need any of that stuff. We're going to show it to all of you. And the Tickblaze. By the way, that QR code on the bottom right, if you take your phone, you could scan that QR code, or you just go to www.ctu.co/trial. There you go.
And we'll post this video on our vendor network playlist for you guys to watch, so you guys can just give us a day here and we'll update it onto the YouTube. You guys will be able to check it out. We'll send it out via email as well. I know Christy and the team's got that. Yeah.
Actually, I spelled it wrong. It's TRIAL. Do you trade options in the room? People say, yes, we do trade options. Like I said, it's a move. You'll see a lot of traders trade it. But the thing is, sometimes you don't have to trade the option. You can just trade the stock. That's all you have to do. You don't have to trade the option. But if you see what the stock is doing and you think about trading options, then you'll see it. When you see those big orders out there on options, you'll see them on the Dome book too also. And one last thing I'm going to throw in as a gift for everybody here. If you do register, like I said, I will personally talk to you on the phone. Okay. I don't need your $9. Okay. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you're serious as a trader and you really want to learn how to do this, I'd rather talk to you and answer your questions personally, because when you see things in the market that are moving, you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know this. How did this and that? There's no better person to ask me, because the way I personally make money, just to let everybody know, is a lot of schools out there are old students of mine that started their own schools and they find their own niches. Like I just had AJ Brown, took my class 25 years ago. He's a great options trader. He has me on his podcast. I was just on his. I was on Pristine just the other day. I mean, we all learn from each other. So being a pioneer, I love teaching people to move on to teach other people. So, so definitely, want to be sure you're making that right choice is for you or not. All right.
Fantastic.
Two questions came across here. Can we wait till next week to try it? Well, listen, Randy, just register now, and then you don't have to start that right now. You could hold it off to the following week. You know what I mean? Just it's fresh in your mind right now. Register for it, and then when you talk to our education advisor and you book your walkthrough with them, because everyone here is going to talk to a staff member here. Because when you go into our trading floor, we want to show you what you're looking at and what videos to watch. So we're not looking to sell you anything. Don't worry about that. This is it. If you want to move forward with us, we'll worry about that later. Don't worry about a week or a month from now. Let's worry about this. So whenever you're ready to get started, you can do that. Any other questions? Thank you very much, Nabil. Really appreciate it. And Sean, by the way, thank you so much for having me here. I mean,
no, it's our pleasure.
It's been a long time, and really look forward to seeing you in person.
We'll see you guys next month in Money Show. We'll break bread, grab a drink, grab some food, and maybe we'll get a chance to trade together.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said,
I'm not going to give you the level 2 levels. I'm just going to keep them for myself, and you can do the old. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, listen, I tell everyone, it's not about winning and losing. It's about training, educating someone. Like when I do my classes,
it's also about just the energy, right? Like I'm sure everybody here can just sense the genuine aspect of your energy. Like most people, you can tell a hard salesman from a hard salesman. Like, seeing is believing. You just come check it out. If you like it, love it, great. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And that's how you attract the right energy, you attract the right people, and ultimately people learn better in that environment. They don't feel like they're just being force-fed something to buy. Like you're genuinely wanting to help people become a great trader. And I think that's why you've been here for so long. I mean,
yeah, listen, what is the win rate? The win rate is when you come to the trading room, you'll see the win rate. And it's not about the win rate. It's about controlling the lose rate. Okay. That's really what you should be worried about. Don't worry about what you're winning. Worry about losing. By the way, just really quick, Brian V he's from Ontario, Canada. Just got your registration. Welcome aboard. You're going to best $9 you're going to spend. It's going to be better than your cup of coffee you're going to spend for this morning. Bill I from another one from Ontario. Got a few people from Ontario. Tanger got yours. Welcome aboard. Just make sure when you guys register, there's going to be 5 questions that we ask you. It's very important that we know a little bit about you. Let us know what brokerage firm you have, if you're using Tickblaze or not, what kind of market you're trading, because the more you tell us, the better we can advise and help you. And then the next page is you're going to book your time when you get your walkthrough with one of our staff members. Anything else? Thank you very much, Lynn and Randy. They're one of my favorite. You're going to meet Lynn and Randy in the trading floor too. They really go out of their way. They listen. One of the things I teach, Sean, and I tell my students, listen, when I teach you how to make money, just all I ask you is try to help tell everyone else, because there's so many people that fail in trading and don't realize it. They hear somebody else out there and whatever. It's not about the winners. It's about the losers. That's what we got to focus on. All right. Any other questions before we call it day? By the way, thanks for being here Saturday. It is absolutely beautiful here today. And, I'm going to go tuna fishing right after this, but, I'd rather be here and talk to you guys because you're the ones that are going to make the market successful. You guys, because there's just too many people that are too negative in the market. Sean's going to see that when we go to the trade shows. You always get somebody like, oh, you just see here, I lost money on this. I lost money in that. It's all starts on who trained you how to do it.
Sure.
Any other last minute questions?
I think that's it. So I want to thank you guys for being here, and thanks Josh and Fausto and your team for putting this all together. I know you and I will be doing many other conversations in the future. So once we get the new development done for some of these levels, tools that are going to help make what you're doing automatically applied on the charts, we'll do another conversation and we'll show you what it is, and we'll get together and we'll do a dome trading session.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And like I told everybody, just remember one thing. like you hear a lot of people doing presentations. Just remember, and I always get people ask me, so Sean, all the time, they're like, why nobody talk about this stuff? Like, this makes sense. And I tell them because they were not a market maker. You know, they weren't a floor trader like me. So what you've just learned is just remember, everybody talks about the left of the chart, and the problem with the left of the chart, it's delayed. It's what happened in the past. It's not indicative of the future. You've just basically learned the right of the chart. And by learning the right of the chart, now you're going to see if those orders that were in the past are in the future. So if you want to see how we practice what we preach, just come and join us and you'll see it, during that market hours. Because remember, you got to learn before you can earn, and you got to have the right platform to do it. So thanks, guys, for sticking around. Appreciate you guys. And Sean, thank you once again.
Have a fantastic weekend, Fausto. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll send out the recording, and have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.